Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, a place where industry experts discuss how technology is impacting our life, our work, while also transforming entire industries and even the world. Every day, I'm going to be serving you a daily dose of optimism and motivation, while highlighting along the way that technology really does work best when it brings people together. Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast. Now today I've got a great guest joining me. His name is Marcus Harvey and he's the General Manager and EMEA Sales Director at Targus. Now Marcus is going to be discussing how Targus is leading the charge, making the channel green by using global recycle standard certified materials and avoiding greenwashing in the process. And with over 40 years' experience, Targus has been paving the way in sustainability within the tech accessories sector by simply producing longer-lasting, environmentally friendly designs. So I've invited him on the podcast today to share exactly how the company and its channel partners have prevented over 2 million plastic bottles from polluting our oceans and landfills. And we'll also learn how Marcus has supported channel partners in doubling their margins and positioning Targus as a go-to source for tech accessories and workspace needs in a sustainable way. And we'll also discuss the significance of tech companies, in fact, every business, and their sustainability credentials in the global fight against climate change. One such innovation is the Targus Zero Waste Backpack, which delivers practical laptop protection, as you would expect from any bag. But the patent-pending pack actually uses recyclable materials in every single aspect of its design, even its packaging, and it was created from 20 plastic bottles. So I want to learn more about this eco-friendly bag and how it is testament to their commitment to sustainability. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to the UK, where Marcus is going to be joining us on the podcast today, share his story, his passion about providing innovative tech solutions, while also reinforcing Targus's sustainable mission. But enough from me. Let's get Marcus on the podcast now. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, thank you, Neil. So my name is Marcus Harvey and I'm the Regional Director for Targus, working in our sales organisation. But as well as that, I'm also part of our global sustainability team, which is sort of a weekly cohort of cross-functional teams looking at our sustainability projects and strategy and progress, and just looking to see how we can do better and be better as an organisation.
Fantastic. Well, it's a pleasure to have you with me today. And I'm conscious we'll have a lot of people listening that are hearing about Targus for the very first time, scattered all around the world. So can you tell me a little bit more about the story behind the company?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Targus, this year, 2023, marks our 40th birthday, really. So we've been around 40 years. We are manufacturers of portable and mobile PC accessories that range from your sort of laptop case through to all different types of technology that connect and protect your devices whilst you're on the go. And over the last 15 years or so, we've been making products that are basically designed to protect the planet and to protect you, as you go about your daily business, really. So we've been around a long time, and we have recognised over the years that there has been a problem. And to sort of answer your question on the scale of it, well, I think it's potentially a huge one, and it's one that impacts and affects each and every single one of us, whether we're individuals or we're large corporations, etc. But to quote the UN website, I think that, over 17 million metric tons of plastic is entering our oceans each and every year. And that's a scary number, which is projected to double or even triple by 2040. So that in itself, I think, highlights the sort of the problem. As well as that, I mean, we're all aware of it. Climate change is something that we're living in amongst. And, medium to large scale disasters now are also, I think, forecasted to increase by about 40% from, just 1 or 2 years ago all the way through to 2030. So it really is a global epic problem. But I think on a positive note, and what I probably should mention is that these problems, they're perhaps too big to fight alone, which is why it's so necessary that, we have a sort of supportive network with business, with government, and us as individuals to all do our bit and make decisions that's going to have a more of a positive impact on the planet to reduce some of those, issues that I've just spoken of.
And there's an old saying that if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So how significant is the role of tech companies, or any company for that matter, and their sustainability credentials in the global fight against climate change, do you think?
Well, I think it's extremely significant. Tech is probably the fastest and but most impactful driver of change that we currently have. It's, if you just look at all different types of tech that's in and around us, I mean, there's in the news a lot, there's a lot about artificial intelligence, there's all this sort of fast-paced movement. But I think, generally speaking, tech's probably on a bit of a catch-up mission as an industry, mainly, I guess, due to some of the difficulties and specifically because we have of incorporating eco materials or technologies within tech. It's fallen behind other industries, to be honest. But with the development of smarter technologies and more thoughtful approaches to circularity, etc., I think we're now seeing companies moving a much faster in this space, which hopefully will allow us to catch up to perhaps other industries and other areas. And I think credentials and having the appropriate sustainability credentials is also important as an organization to have that authenticity and credibility within that, and prevent greenwashing and ensure that organizations are being transparent as to what they are doing and how they can help improve that particular situation.
And one of the things that put Targus on my radar, set off my tech spidey senses, was when I read that you were utilising the global recycle standard for certified materials to ensure that your products have a minimal environmental impact. For anyone that's not heard about this, can you expand on that for me?
Yeah, so GRS, yes, it is a part of our commitment to stringently operate in globally recognised certificate bodies, really. Using GRS materials is an important part of our commitment to SDGs. 14, which is life below water, and 15, life on land, as part of the EU development goals. Using responsibly sourced paper packaging products and recycled plastic textiles, for example, are areas that we can have a positive impact there. With businesses and individuals, consumers replacing their laptops or other tech products every few years, I think it's really incredibly important that we ensure that we think about tech more in terms of a circular economy model, where items and materials are recycled and reformed to be used again. And I think this also goes for the packaging that's wrapped around that as well.
Another question I've got to ask is, what has been your approach to promoting long-lasting, environmentally friendly tech protection in the tech accessory sector? Because for many years, it has been almost part of a throwaway society. Where, how many times have we seen a $1,000 smartphone in a $5 case, for example? But I'm curious what your approach was here to correct this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a saying, isn't there? Sometimes if you buy cheap, buy twice. Yeah. And so make sure that you are choosing, products that are going to last and be around for a while. I think our, approach to that is very much incorporate things like lifetime warranties on some of our products. So, really, we see people that choose Targus and buy a Targus laptop case, for example, a product that will last as long as you want it to. And, we put our money where our mouth is, and we put, lifetime warranties against that. And that is very much, I think, against that sort of fast fashion approach, which is, used, throw it away, go back and buy again. So I think that's a really strong approach to that. I mean, we've also moved to a circular economy model of manufacturer considering every step in that product lifestyle as well. And, our commitment is very much to universally compatible tech to reduce any wastage or unnecessary use that's required from that. So when you buy Targus, it's about maximizing the breadth of products that can be protected or carried within our devices. That gives it a much longer lifespan than ordinarily would.
And I'm conscious that we'll have a lot of business leaders listening all over the world that know they need to be doing more, know they need to make changes, but it can feel incredibly daunting or overwhelming on what they should be doing next. So for that business leader listening, wanting to follow in your footsteps, can you share a little bit more about Targus's commitment to sustainability and how you've incorporated green initiatives within your entire organisation?
Yeah, for any wannabe or would-be business leader looking to follow us, I think the hardest part is just starting. I think it's a big subject. I think it's, taking our journey where we started from to where we are now. I think what's important is understanding where you are right now, it's the only way you can really improve anyhow, right? So start from within your own company, pull together all the bits of information that you have access to that you can gather and get that together. And I think that will provide you with a solid foundation to build a sustainability framework. And it's going to direct your actions in a more meaningful way so that the steps that you take will have as much impact as possible. Yeah, at times, to be honest, we found it a huge amount of work on finding, and we did a lot of work on finding where our strengths and weaknesses were. And using this information, we were able to structure our roadmap moving forward. So we now structure all of our activity around the UNGs, which is the Sustainable Development Goals. That gives us some clarity on what we need to work towards, meaning that we're working in a network of millions working towards common sustainability goals. And I think if you can just start in that process and take those steps towards it, it's a journey that you're going to, that you're going to go along and make the improvements over, a period of time.
And I think one other area that may prevent people or be holding businesses back is that despite best intentions and trying to do the wrong thing, they could be called out for greenwashing. So can you explain the steps that you took to avoid greenwashing and how you've been able to maintain complete transparency with your channel partners?
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I think it's fair to say that, we were very aware and defensive to the fact that, greenwashing is something that's easy to do. So it's, first and foremost, the only way that we could avoid greenwashing is to make the commitment. We had to be committed every day and at every level throughout our whole organization that we had to be honest, we had to have authenticity and more importantly, transparency. I think we've built over the last 40 years, Targus is a brand that's synonymous with quality and reliability. So, it's non-negotiable from day one, really, that we would be wanting to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. Even if we wanted to, or if we tried to do that, our partners, the people that we're selling to and our ultimate end customers, I think, would figure that out quite quickly and they'd never let us get away with it. So there's sort of mutual accountability around that. But being honest about our areas for improvement has been probably also our biggest opportunity for growth.
And I'm curious, you mentioned your support partners there. How do you support channel partners in doubling their margins while promoting Targus as this one-stop source for tech accessories and workspace needs and the sustainability factor too? Is there anything you can share around that?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I think Targus is uniquely placed through the products that we manufacture and bring to market to really help the channel improve the margins that they can make when they're selling, hardware devices. And I think in the modern world of business today, sustainability is actually not a roadblock to margin. It's rather the opposite. It's a route to it. We do a lot of surveys and we look into a lot of data and we empower our partners to add value and wrap around the device they're selling. 90% of decision makers that are buying tech say that their experience with tech is much better with having the appropriate accessory attached to it. Has a much more positive impact on their productivity, on their job satisfaction, etc. as well. So I think it's really important that we are able to leverage our products and that sustainability in driving innovation. A great example that we've just launched is what we're calling our Zero Waste Backpack, which is a great opportunity for the channel to attach a backpack with a very strong sustainability angle to it. So the concept of the Zero Waste Backpack is we've minimized our packaging, but the actual packaging that the backpack comes in is going to actually be used in the structure of the backpack. So nothing gets thrown away. Everything is absorbed and used within the backpack. And I think that's a real dedication and demonstration, if you will, to innovation that has that very strong sustainability angle that delivers a product that will help with margin for the channel and attach something to their devices. So yeah, I think they're great ways that we can sort of give the tools to the channel to make more money.
And you've been on an incredible journey here towards sustainability, and just mentioning things like that zero waste backpack there, it's something tangible for everyone to see and feel and understand how you're making a difference. But of course, it didn't happen overnight, and it isn't as easy as we're probably making it sound today. So I've got to ask, what are some of the challenges that you've faced in implementing sustainable practices, and how have you overcome them?
Yeah, no, well, yeah, exactly. I mean, look, what we have discovered is that improvement is not easy. It's often trial and error. Yeah. Not everything we do works out every time. I mean, we've had examples of where we've been looking at different types of plastic packaging we've used potato starch that has actually completely decomposed by the time it's reached our warehouse. I mean, that's trial and error. That's just not going to work for us. But it's really only taking chances and learning from our failures, actually, that we improve. And I think that's a well-known fact that most people see. You learn more from what you get wrong sometimes than what you do when you get right. I think other challenges that we've had is that we're a global international company around the world that has, regional offices, and we have exposure in different parts of the world. And international regional differences in waste management, legislation, the best practice, they're all complicated and complex. And we try and manage this by thinking globally and executing globally where possible, but it can be tricky. If you want, if we can find solutions that are scalable, that tends to be the best option that we can move and drive across the whole of our company. And sustainability touches every aspect of our company, which can make it difficult sometimes to always access the information you need. Targus has managed to overcome this by making sustainability part of our company culture. It's part of our DNA as we move forward now. So it's within our business. Sustainability isn't just limited to just one member or an individual or even a department. It's the responsibility of every one of our employees to do it together and do it right.
And I appreciate that you're probably fairly limited as to what you can share with me today on a podcast that will get beamed around the world. But can you share any upcoming projects or goals for Targus, especially in this realm of sustainability that we're talking about today, and also how you're going to not just stay where you are, but continue pushing the envelope for a greener future?
One of the things that I will share with you is we were just awarded the bronze medal with EcoSmart, which was really great for us to have that sort of external accreditation to what we're doing as a business. But our main project and our focus now is to turn that bronze into a silver and hopefully ultimately into a gold as well. But that's part of our journey as we move forward. But I think having recently just published our first sustainability report, that also will detail exactly where we are in our journey, what our attention is now turned to for the future, and how we're going to be growing across our roadmap. So that's where we'll be publishing all of our goals and how we're actually holding ourselves accountable to those.
And for anybody listening that maybe wants to dig a little bit deep on anything we talked about today, maybe check out the report, contact your team to carry on this conversation we started today. What's the best starting point for all things Targus and sustainability?
Yeah, well, it's easily accessible, which is great. So, people can just head to our website, which is uk.targus.com, and it's /sustainability. And in there, you'll find all the information, all you need to know around our sustainability goals, and you'll find our sustainability report. You can learn more about our EcoSmart products, that Zero Waste Backpack, for example, that we have there as well. And there's lots of really great, useful information that people can go and see more about what we're doing and what we're looking ahead to do for the future as well.
Well, you can count me in as a customer. I'm going to be checking out that Zero Waste Backpack and I'll be reporting back to everyone, and I'll be checking out more about what you're doing. And I'd love to stay in touch with you because this is work in progress. It'd be great to get you on either at the end of the year or beginning of next year, see how things are progressing. But more than anything, just a big thank you for not only the great work you're doing, but also sharing it with everyone listening today. Thank you.
Yeah, that's my pleasure. Thank you, Neil.
What a fascinating discussion there. I cannot thank Marcus enough for coming on the podcast and discussing how they're making the channel green and pioneering sustainability in that tech accessories sector, where traditionally we've seen a lot of waste. And that Zero Waste Backpack made from 20 bottles sounds incredibly cool, doesn't it? And especially because it's keeping plastic bottles out of our oceans and landfills and on our backs. So that's something to applaud them for. So it's clear for me that the role of tech companies in the fight against climate change is more important than ever. And it's great to see Targus being one of those leading examples with their sustainability mission and solutions that they're bringing to the table. So a big thank you to Marcus for joining me on the podcast today, and an even bigger thank you to each and every one of you for taking the time to tune in. And remember, if you've got any questions, anything you want to add to the conversation, different angles of the argument, or just maybe you just want to come on here and have a chat with me, or you want to have a chat with me offline, whatever it is, email me now, techblogwriter@outlook.com, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram at Neil C. Hughes. If you do get a chance, please subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you did enjoy yourselves today, please leave a review and share the episode with your friends and colleagues. But that's it for today. So keep innovating, stay green. Thanks for listening today. And until next time, don't be a stranger.